Heather monitors our chat box, and I will as well today. If that works for you, you are welcome to type questions into the chat box. If that doesn't work for you, either unmute yourself and make yourself known, which is tricky in a big group of loud advocates. So we'll try to watch for folks if they're trying to get our attention. I'm a visual person, and so you're welcome to give a hand wave in your screen if you're trying to get our attention to ask a question. You're also welcome to do the hand raise thing, and we'll just try to keep our eyes on everything so that we can get questions answered. Welcome and thank you for coming. Crystal, I'm going to turn things over to you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Crystal Brockington. I work with the Image Center of Maryland. We serve Baltimore County, Baltimore City, and Harford County, and we provide an array of services to people with disabilities and family members and any of the such, and anyone interested in supporting our community. Some of those services are information or referral or advocacy, as well as we have a Teen Connect program. We have our Out and About program, which I'm the director for the Out and About program, which services people who are living in nursing facilities and looking to transition to living in the community, whether that's like an assisted living facility or just in an apartment or a home, anywhere in the community where the personal aides would come to provide support to them. We also have a Veterans Supports Planning Agency. We have the Volunteer Medical Engineers Program that helps to adapt equipment for people who maybe you need a piece of assistive technology, but in order for it to work for you, it needs to be tweaked, or maybe it's something that just hasn't been invented yet. You can submit requests to them and they will look at your project and see if they can help. Trying to think, we also offer housing counseling, and I'm trying to think if I've left anything else out. And also work with the Maryland Access Point offices to provide like just support during their call center hours and things of that sort. We also have several smaller contracts like hospital to home. So I recommend, if you have any questions, to contact one of your centers for independent living. Every area has a center for independent living. And if we don't have the service that'll help you, we will point you in the right direction. So that's my extended introduction. I'm here to talk to you about our peer support group that we offer called Live and Thrive Maryland. It is a collaboration between all of our centers that we have, and we work very closely with others. I know Shannon Minnick and other folk here have participated in this meeting. And really what it is like an informative social hour on the third Friday of each month for people that are in nursing facilities or people that live in the community that use personal supports and need personal assistance or anything like that. We like to kind of engage in fun conversation, but also talk with others about topics that are relevant to our group. I think we typically find that for people who are using personal aids or getting help in the community with their activities of daily living, grooming, bathing, cooking, laundry, cleaning, anything of that sort, there's a lot that goes with that. You know, accessing help is a challenge. Once you get help, how to manage that help is a challenge. Like, there are so many things that kind of come up for people that are just trying to remain independent. So we focus on those types of conversations. We find that sometimes it's great to like talk to other people who may have similar experiences. And, you know, prior to COVID, we would do activities, like we would go to the museums. We also would, you know, or go bowling or do things like that. And now, although we've noticed that we don't do as many in person, you know, we really can't do in-person activities yet. One of the benefits that has come out of this is that we have this statewide meeting. So people in nursing facilities or people in the community are able to meet other people from across the state. I mean, like, you know, it's a unique opportunity for a person in a nursing facility to talk to someone that's in a different nursing facility or in a facility that's in a different county. So like now we've been able to take this group statewide. And so we really are encouraging people from all across the state. Like, if you're already living in a community and using aids and support, or if you're in a facility, even considering that, you don't have to be necessarily like leaving. You could just be thinking about different things or wanting a chance to meet other people and have fun. Please join this group. If somebody could put my email in the chat box, that would be great, because if
I
you
would be
email
happy
me,
to, and I was trying to
thank
do that,
you.
but Heather, I'm realizing that it says the chat is disabled. You know, now generally we're very supportive in that manner. I'm just not sure how to make it stop.
Didn't turn it off, so I don't know how to turn it back on again.
Oh heavens.
Yeah.
This is Cheryl. Heather, if you go into, if you're the host of the meeting.
Just
If
went
you-
back on.
Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
I think you got it, Heather. I think so. Looks like we're good. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Hello, Sarah. Can you hear me?
Yes, but we're gonna let Crystal just finish her presentation for just a second before we take questions. Hang on.
Hi, Crystal. How you doing?
Hi, Chioke. Thank you
How
for
you
being
been?
here. I'm all right.
And I'm going to try to keep up with each presenter and at least get their name and the name of the support group into the chat box as well. Thanks, Heather, for dropping in Crystal's email as well. But did anyone have questions? Or sorry, Crystal, did you get a chance to finish saying everything you wanted to say about Live and Thrive?
I just wanted to tell them when the time the meeting was. So it is on the third Friday of each month between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. And if you're interested in participating, you can participate by Zoom. And the awesome thing about Zoom is it's pretty easy to use. Once you get used to doing it, we can walk you through it. And you can also call in by phone. Maybe you don't have a smartphone or a laptop or all this fancy internet stuff. You can call in by telephone and still listen. This week's topic for this month is going to actually be how to work with your aid providers. Like, how do you balance that relationship with people who are providing care for you? And sometimes you have to say things to them that maybe they don't want to hear, right? But at the same time, it needs to be said. Just, you know, you want to keep the peace, but you're working with people who are pretty close to you. You need to be comfortable speaking with them. So we're going to talk about that a bit this month. So if you join us, it's again the third Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. And you can email me. I'll say my email for people who can't access the chat. It's C Brockington, that's B like boy, ROCKING, T like Tom, ON like Nancy, at imagemd.org. And that's image like a picture, IMAGEMD.org. That's it. I hope to see some of you there.
Thank you, Crystal. Are there questions for Crystal before she may have to run away? Because
Crystal, so what is this that you're putting up back here?
The meeting we have on Fridays. I think you've participated maybe once before, Chioke, but I have your email, so I
Yes,
can
you
email
do.
about that.
Are you with people on the go? I have my people on the go meeting on 3.
That's right. That's right after our Friday meeting. And a lot
Hey,
of
you
people-
know, I also have I'm Alliance, or now Shepherd Pratt Mosaic.
Okay.
They have
Well,
their 1 o'clock one.
Awesome. Well, Chioke, let's talk about that offline, because I think this is a recorded session. So for now, we're going to listen to everybody, and you and I can definitely talk more about what's going on. I'll give you a call.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you
All
get
right.
in touch with Amanda too? I want to
Yep.
recommend her as a special guest for my people on the go call.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Chioke.
Can
All
you
right.
not mute me, please?
We have to keep
Every-
everyone muted while the presenters are speaking, because it can make it hard for people on the call to hear if there's other background noise. So we keep everyone muted while folks are presenting, and then we can unmute when we need to ask questions. Okay, so thank you, Crystal. So next I'm moving to Janice Jackson with Women Embracing Abilities Now, WEEN. She has her background for visual folks. She has her logo in the background of her. So thank you, Janice. Welcome.
You are welcome, and good afternoon to everyone. And Sarah, thank you for giving WEEN and myself an opportunity to give us exposure to those out in the community that haven't heard of WEAN and what we actually offer. I'd like to give, well, I have to say my name, I'm sorry. Janice Jackson, as Sarah said, I'm Executive Director of Women Embracing Abilities Now, WEAN. And I'd like to give you a little background on WEAN. And it started with actually my introduction to the disability community. In 1984, at the age of 24, I was hit by a car and suffered a spinal cord injury. And I quickly realized while I had a great support system from my family and my friends, I didn't know any other women that had disabilities. And as I tried to navigate through my new life, I just didn't know where to go, what to do. And I had so many questions. So while I was in rehab, I realized that other women felt the same way. We were just lost. And that's when I established my first support group while I was in rehab at Montebello back in the 80s. And once we got together and just tried to figure this new life out, you know, as women with disabilities, it just started to grow. And, you know, the importance of having another woman there to really just be a support for each other and help each other out. So that was the beginning of my mission as a mentor and being involved in supporting other women with disabilities. So over the years, I created in the 80s and 90s 3 support groups. The first one was called WOW, Women on Wheels and Walking. Then I established the second one, We Are Able People. And then I started getting flack from the male population with disabilities. They're like, well, we want support too, so why can't we be involved? So I actually created a third group, which was called We Are Able People Too. But I realized that from a woman's perspective, trying to support a man in different aspects that I couldn't relate to. So it didn't really, you know, take off well because I mean, I couldn't support them in some of the areas that they needed support in. So I realized at that point, my mission was to mentor and empower women with disabilities. And in 2005, I created WEAN. So that's a combination of the support groups that I had established. And I established it in 2005 under the umbrella of MCIL, Maryland Center for Independent Living, because I really wanted to take it to another level where I could fundraise and offer more services for the women. And our main mission is to help women understand that their disabilities are just a part of who they are. First and foremost, they are women. And kind of to just break down some of the negative attitudes and stereotypes that society has about women with disabilities. So that new face, you know, gave us a platform to just really live in our truths and live in who we are. And when I decided on a name, I wanted something that really stood out to what we do. And embracing our abilities now is what we do, you know, and we try to instill in women that you can't embrace your abilities that are in the past. And we don't know what the future holds, but you can embrace who you are at this present moment now. So after a few years, we realized that young ladies who will be our next generation of women with disabilities needed that support and that the services, as well as being educated with the coping skills that they would need as women with disabilities. So we started including young ladies with disabilities. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey as to how WEAN has grown. We're very community involved. Pre-COVID, we're very active in the community. In 2009, WEAN came under the umbrella of the League for People with Disabilities. So that's where we're housed. That's where we hold all of our meetings and gatherings. And it's just been a perfect partnership because our missions line up with each other in supporting people with disabilities and actually promoting independent living at its highest level. So before COVID, as I said, we were very active. And some of the services that we provide was one-on-one mentoring, group mentoring. We held a lot of seminars, workshops, and programs, and we tried to address different issues to build coping skills for these ladies that we serve. So we have done workshops on self-esteem building, self-worth building, because we believe in a philosophy until you are able to accept who you are as a woman, you cannot enter the community if you haven't dealt with and empowering yourself as a person and as a woman. So we do a lot of self-esteem and self-worth building. We've held workshops on health and wellness, advocacy, community engagement. And of course, if any of you have been to our events or have heard, WEAN is a social gathering sisterhood. We love to have fun. We're always going somewhere, doing something in the community. Before COVID shut down, we were planning our second cruise. In 2018, we took a WEAN cruise, and I don't think the Carnival ship has ever been the same after the cruise. So again, we're just a big support system for each other. And as we all know, when COVID came in, it just changed the dynamics of everybody's world, and especially WEAN, where we had to shut down all in-person events. And a lot of the issues that some of the women may have been experiencing were magnified because of the isolation and, being home and not really, because a lot of them, WEAN is their only support. They don't have good support home systems. So we were their support. So coming together and just being able to be with each other was just such a wonderful, service just to be with each other. So since COVID, a lot of the women have suffered and had setbacks, with depression and stuff. So we've tried to, as best we could, continue our services. So now we still do one-on-one mentoring, whether it's by Zoom or by conference call. We do group mentoring. We, anywhere our service is needed, once a month, once a month we have a Zoom meeting. And at these meetings, I try to bring in guest speakers. I try to put on activities. Like last month, we did vision boards. So everybody shared their vision boards and what their visions are for 2021. So just kind of keeping them engaged and, just letting them know that, COVID may have changed things, but it hasn't changed our togetherness and support for each other. This coming month, we're having a guest speakers for Women's Month. And we always hold our meetings on the third Sunday of every month at 4 p.m. And anyone's welcome to come on and just be a part of our monthly support meeting. Once a week, we're on Kernan's support group, where they have a spinal cord support group, where it's a combination of individuals who have had their disabilities for a while, as well as patients that are new to the disability community. So we mentors are on the call, and we're connected with women right at the beginning, and try to be support as they navigate through their disabilities.
Janice, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the time because I've got.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm long-winded, I'm a professor, so I can go on and not even look at the time. So thank you, Sarah.
What's the preferred way that you'd like folks to contact you if they're interested in?
Well, they can call me, or they can go on the website and send an email, and I'll give you that information. But the best number to contact me at is 410-433-0614. And WEAN's website is www.wean1.org.
Great, perfect.
So they can get in touch with me at that point. But again, we're not disability specific, so any woman with any type of disability can join us and be a part of our sisterhood, and we welcome women around the state, not just here in Baltimore as well.
Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, and I just have one more thing to say, just humbly, all the work that's been put into WEAN and the mentors, the wonderful mentors, and a lot of our mentors were mentees at one point. And I tell you, it's a beautiful thing. And Terry Parrish, I think she's on the line, has been a mentor from the beginning. So it's just so beautiful. And at the end of the month, WEAN will be inducted into the National Disability Mentoring Coalition's Hall of Fame, class of 2020. So I'm just excited for WEAN and everybody that has contributed to make it what it is today. Okay, I'm done.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Before we move on, does anybody have any questions for Janice, or should we move on to Legs?
I don't have a question. I just want to say, this is Shafan. I just want to say WEAN is a fantastic organization. I've been to a few of their events, and I mean, the women are treated like queens as they are. So any way that anyone can support WEAN, even with donations, I encourage you to do so. And I'm going to go back on mute.
Thank you, Shafan.
Shafan, thank you. I miss you.
Yeah, I had a brief question.
Hello, Janice. How you doing?
Okay, hold on. Quadesha was next. Hang on one second, please.
I work at the Freedom Center. I want to know from Ms. Jackson, how does WEAN support those young adults or young women who have who may be I guess whose challenges like depression or anxiety and things of that nature during this time that may face mental health issues?
Well, as I stated, we do one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So someone can contact, and most of the women we mentor and support are referred to us either by, self-referral or whatever. So just contact me, and we will do just a talk about what your needs are and how we can help you. If you want one-on-one, we will do one-on-one if you want to be part of a group mentoring. But, if you want to get into contact with me off the call, and we can just see what your needs are and see if we're a good fit. But
okay, because you mentioned things about your self-esteem courses and your self-worth classes. I wanted to know what does that look like for an individual? But I guess I'll touch base with you maybe afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your name again?
My name is Quadasia.
Okay. Well, I've been looking forward to speaking with you.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Janice.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna move on to Saki Bellamy is on and is
I have one more thing for Janice.
okay.
Hey,
Really
Janice,
quick.
have you ever worked with Shura Inc. or have you ever worked with Caring Communities or the Disability Expo?
Oh, well, at the Disability Expo, when they were having the expos, we were at every one of them here in Baltimore. I mean, we don't travel to the ones around the state. And that individual, I'm not sure, the name doesn't ring a bell, but that doesn't mean I
Shura
haven't.
Inc. They
Yeah.
Bellamy from Legs.
Yes, my name's Saki Bellamy. I'm the president of Legs, and we're a mentor group as far as a brotherhood, the brotherhood to wing. And what we stand for is like money. That's our goal. Mentoring and outreaching with people with disabilities, and also we work with Kernan. You know, we got your back meeting we used to do on Sundays, but now we made it to a weekly Zoom call on 3 to 5 on every Saturday. And O stands for outreach, where we try to find just say easy for me, where we try to find sources of resources basically for people with disabilities and people that don't have disabilities. And this weekend on our Zoom call, we had a guy do life insurance for basically, other life insurance don't really support people with disabilities, but with his life insurance, he support people with disabilities. And you can get with Bong, my vice president, on that. And then and it's for networking, where we're trying to find different ways to better our community with all disability people, and build with other organizations as far as Ween and Kernan and the league and all them other places, and letting people know about therapy, where they can go to get therapy and everything. And EY is for educating youth, which basically before the pandemic started, we were supposed to go in schools and talk to the little children about basically dealing with people with disabilities, that it's not a disease, it's something, that happened to us, or some of us was born with disabilities, but we're not contagious. So we're trying to, teach the youth how better ways to deal with people with disability. As long as, a lot of us might be mothers and fathers or sisters and brothers, or have nieces and nephews that go to school, which we're trying to talk to the kids in school about you know better in their life, for finding a golden life, not to wind up in the street and do stuff with this stuff, so they can make our generation better. And I think that's it for me. Bong, if I missed anything, if you can get in there and let people know.
Sure. Thank you, Saki. This is Bong. And again, like Saki said, I am from Legs. So I joined Legs back in 2016. And prior to me joining with Legs, I was not a part of the disability community. And one of our mutual friends asked me to come into a meeting and see what they were all about. Well, I absolutely fell in love with what Derek Waters, Saki Bellamy, and Calvin Mitchell were trying to do with Legs, and the message that they were trying to get out to gentlemen who either acquired a disability throughout their life or was born with one. And our mentoring sessions, like Saki said, we meet with the gentleman from Kernan Hospital. We used to meet on the third Sunday of every month. And now, since COVID, we do it on a weekly basis on Saturdays between 3 to 5. Typically, we'll have a topic. Like Saki said, this past week, we had a topic on life insurance and some of the issues that people with disabilities have with trying to get life insurance. A week before that, we had a topic about pain management and how you manage your pain. And then sometimes we'll just have open topics. And then actually in the next coming up weeks, we'll have an exercise Zoom thing where, not only they're going to do exercise, but they're going to do mental stimulation and meditation as well. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our email address is theextragents with an S at the end @gmail.com. And we also have a public Facebook page called Legs, LEGS, with the dots in the middle. We also have an Instagram page called The Extra Gents, or I'm sorry, it's also called Legs as well on Instagram. But again, our Facebook page is open to the public. I know it's mainly for men. And in case anyone did not know what LEGS stood for, LEGS is the acronym, and it stands for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Society. And just really quick on a personal note, I want to send a shout out to Janice Jackson, because since I've come into this community, I have learned a lot from her as far as mentoring and anything else that I do in this disability community. I've learned a lot from Janice Jackson. So I want to send kudos out to her.
Yes.
You want to, Bong, I'm not sure how to, sorry for this, but
It's okay.
Saki. I'm not sure about how to drop that Facebook info into the so if you want to do it, you're welcome to.
Well, actually, if you can just do a search
Okay.
in the search on the Facebook page, just type in Legs, and it'll come up with the Legs community page.
Okay. Gotcha. And I put the Saki's name and the email in the chat so that we have that. Does anybody have questions for Legs?
Well, Sarah, the only thing, this is Lorna May from the Freedom Center.
Hey,
The
Lorna
only
May.
thing, if you don't mind, that I ask is, could you, the information that you're putting down, could you collect that and send that to the Freedom Center so we can have that? Because we're really interested in reaching out to some of these resources.
So I was thinking it might be easiest for me to make a document that lists all the
Yes.
contact information for each of the groups in one place. If I'd had it together, I would have done that before today and then shared it. But I think, Heather, we can send that out post event, right?
Yep. If you send me was gonna pull the things out of chat and put it in the thank you for participating email.
Oh, there you go. That works.
Alrighty,
And
thank
I
you.
will also create a blog post about this on the image page about this call, and again create links on the webpage for all the groups.
And then we can share the rest of the
Yeah.
facility, I think, can share from that. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is that work, Lorna May?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sure, of course.
I have a question. What is the website for Legs?
Saki?
We're working on our website as we speak. We haven't
Oh, so there's
actually
no
built it.
website yet.
No, not as of yet. Probably by the end of the month or early next month, we should have our website up.
But they have a Facebook page and I put the email in the chat.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see you guys at Club 1111 are now virtual now.
Yes,
Yeah.
just like Weens, we volunteer at Club 1111 as well.
Any other questions about the Legs group or meetings? Saki, you said, can you repeat when you meet? I feel like it's Saturdays, but
Yeah, every Saturday from 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
I think. Well,
Okay.
the information is on the Legs website, but if Bong can drop it in the chat, then that's okay too.
Yeah, I can try to find the Zoom link and drop it in the chat. But it is a weekly meeting, and the link stays the same. So I will see if I can find it now and drop it in the chat now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, great. So if that's it for Legs, we're gonna go on to Rochelle
up.
Harrod from Independence Now, who's
Mouse
going to
click.
talk about Lighting the Path, which is another support group that supports people who are blind or have visual impairments. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn things over to Rochelle Harrod. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you. And hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about Lighting Your Path. My name is Rochelle Harrod, and I'm the Independent Living Specialist for Prince George's County at Independence Now. And almost about, I want to say, we're almost 2 now as of April, because we have, out of our consumer population, we have several consumers that are blind and or that have visual impairments. So they all got together and approached Independence Now about starting a support group, just particularly to address the issues of individuals with visual impairments. And so, with that being said, we had some meetings, we did a focus group, and Lighting Your Path was born. We meet the second Wednesday of every month, 1 to 3 p.m., and we discuss various topics specifically related to being blind or visual impairments, whether it's self-love, learning how to accept your blindness, orientation and mobility. We've had speakers that talk specifically about different assistive technology devices. For example, tomorrow we'll be learning the ABCs of your technology devices, from everything from your color ID reader to your talking microwave. So the speakers for Wednesday, which is our meeting coming up, will be MD Tap and Maryland Relay. And every month, as I said, we do a different topic. So next month for April, for example, we're going to have the Lions Club present and the Foundation for Fighting Blindness, and talk about the different things that they do. So every month we have a consistent consumer-driven topic related to what it is the consumers would like to hear about. And what I like about the group is that even though I'm the support person and the guide, it's strictly consumer-driven, in that even though I'm the facilitator, there's always a member of the group who will step up and help me co-facilitate and suggest a speaker. And because of that, the next couple months, we're going to focus specifically on eye health. As I said, April, we're going to have the Foundation on Fighting Blindness. And May, we're going to focus specifically on vision health. How often should you get checkups to meet with your ophthalmologist? And June, we're going to focus on the different types of cataracts. What do we know about them? How should we effectively treat them? And things of that nature. And what I like about Lighting Your Path is not only do we cover that, but we cover the issues that are specifically related to blindness, how you deal with your depression, how to get around your house, especially now during COVID, since all the orientation and mobility sessions are virtual, and we have a technical assistance person, if you will, who joins us monthly as well, who has previously worked with Doors and Columbia Lighthouse and so many other organizations. Miss Sharon Payne, she's our resident orientation and mobility specialist for the group. So she comes and provides her suggestions as well, and provides services to members of the group. So again, if you're interested, it's the second Wednesday of every month, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And our link is always posted on the Independence Now website and on our events calendar. But if you have any information or specific questions, you can always reach out to me.
Thank you, Rochelle. Any questions for Rochelle? I think I have, do I always call it Lighting the Path and it's Lighting Your Path?
I have a question.
One would think, since I'm the executive director, I would be able to remember that, but for some reason I can't. So it is Lighting Your Path. I seem to call it Lighting the Path. So sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you. Worry about people sharing too much personal information when these are recorded and then posted on YouTube. I just want to remind everybody for that. Any other questions for Rochelle? Thank you, Rochelle.
Just a quick one. This is Chiffon. can you give us the link of your technology class for, I believe you said Wednesday,
The link
for the smart microwave and various other tools?
Yes.
Can you go to our site and copy it and drop it in, Rochelle, or maybe Abiola can if she's.
Can you put it in the chat, and I'll just screen copy it or something.
I can do it. Just give me
Thank
a
you.
moment. I got you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for asking and thanks for doing it, Rochelle. All right. All good. Okay, we're moving on to Lizzie Graham, who is here from the Maryland Trans Unity Support Group and is going to speak next. Lizzie, I do want to let you know, yep, I was going to say you should be fine in sharing your screen because we generally have that available for our speakers. So I will turn things over to you. Thank you for being here. But you're muted.
Okay, hello. Thank you. I had to find the button in this format. I'm one of the co-leaders of Maryland Trans Unity. My pronouns are she and her. I'm one of the 3 or 4 leaders who help facilitate the group meetings. We are a peer-run support group for people who are transgender. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the LGBT community, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, the T at the end. And the transgender community are people, that's the group we focus on. I'll touch base on that. But a little bit about myself to introduce myself in this space. I'm a Washington, D.C. area native. I grew up in Montgomery County in D.C., but I currently live in College Park. I'm on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed with Asperger's while in high school. I studied psychology in college. My previous job was as a DSP, helping adults in residential settings. Currently, for my full-time job, I am one of the service coordinators for the autism waiver, which is for children at the ARC Prince George's County. Some of you may also know me with Shared Support Maryland, where I'm a part-time administrative assistant and person-centered trainer. I'm also on the ARC of the United States National Council of Self-Advocates. As you can see, as a hobby, I play the accordion, and I've also been published on topics related to autism and gender identity, and my website on academia is in this slide.
Lizzie, we've had a request if you can speak any louder or perhaps move your microphone closer.
How about now?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Now, what is transgender? I'm sure you might have heard about this going on in the news a lot. Some of it hopefully good news, but also some very unfortunate news. Now, transgender is a general term for someone who does not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. And some may realize it early on, some of, later in life. It's sort of like, how, like sometimes with a disability, it can either be acquired or inherited, or you're born with it. One analogy I use, I know this may not be the best analogy, but it's one of the best ones I can think of, is how some people may, of different races, there may be a certain language that are attached to their ethnicity or race, but they may grow up in a culture where that language or culture might not be emphasized, or they just don't really seem to associate themselves with that language or culture. To a certain extent, gender identity is different from sexual orientation being to who you are identify, whether it be heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, just like there are many different races and ethnicities in life, so too there are different gender identities and expressions. I could obviously speak more about transgender issues, but that's not necessarily the main focus of my presentation today. So a little bit about the support group. When we meet is on Sundays, we meet the first and third Sunday of the month from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And to give you a context of where we originated for our Sunday groups was Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Church in Bethesda. We also meet on the first Thursday of the month from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And pre-COVID, we met at University Christian Church in Hyattsville. So we are a MoCo PG based group. Since the pandemic, we've been meeting online via Zoom, and we have been getting some people outside of the MoCo PG area. Again, we are Maryland Trans Unity, but with our Zoom meetings, we've broadened our geographical reach because of that. And Zoom is just making it easier for people to come out to our group. Pardon the pun, coming out to our group. Our website is transunity.net. We're hoping to we're trying to update it because there's been some meeting changes. But we have our group meeting. People come with different experiences or different phases in their gender transition, whether they've been living as their true gender for years, or those who are just thinking or questioning who they are internally in terms of their gender. So what we do in each group is we, each person, introduces themselves. We, introduce guidelines and principles to establish, respect and decorum in the group. And one or two facilitators will help lead the discussions based on what was brought up during check-in, and then we check out. And our email address is facilitators@TransUnity, like it is on the slide. We also have a Facebook page as well. One of the reasons I talked about this with Sarah in emails that, again, this is not a disability, specific group, but we've had people with disabilities come through the group. And one reason why I'm highlighting, the LGBT nature of this is because there is growing research to show that the disability community, such as the autism community, may also present or be LGBT, not heterosexual or identifying with a different gender. I've contributed to research as a commentator on this product. Children's National has a gender and autism program in Rockville, and this is gaining better attention. And the LGBTQ community and the disability community are faced with some very unfortunate similar parallel realities as well. So there's a lot of intersection going on. Like I'm sure a lot of us here on the call have had a moment where you just felt like you didn't fit in. And that's how many of us in the disability community, don't fit in. It's, it's sort of like, with the talks about, racial tensions, most of it's black and white. But if you can see me, my race is Asian. So that sometimes begs the question on a race perspective, where do people who are of the Asian race and descent fit in? It's sort of like the same thing with people who are gender diverse. Where do they fit in the society that's sort of based on a female male gender binary, where there's just only gradual recognition of those who may not be within that binary. So again, our email address is facilitators@TransUnity. I'm currently the one managing that, checking that email. So if you want the link to our Zoom meetings, you can email me and I will reply to you at that address. And we're also on Facebook, Maryland Trans Unity, as well. So if you like that group, we're conscious of confidentiality. So, if you like a public Facebook page, it may show up on your Facebook profile that you like that page. And so just please, just be mindful of that if you're in a situation that you might not, be open to others. It's similar to how us in the disability community, we may mask, our disability in certain settings, but we may not be open about it. And that's the similar parallel that many in the trans community face as well. So I'm here to highlight the group, but also to highlight the intersectionality as well. So I guess I'll take any relevant questions to the group about the group.
So this is Bong really quick. I'm sorry. I don't necessarily have a question, but I was listening to your presentation, and just for those who are using closed caption or visually impaired, can you say the whole email address again? Because I believe each time you actually said it, you left off the .net part. So
Okay, oh yes, thank you. So facilitators, FACILITATORS at TransUnity, TransUnity.net.
Thank
I hope
you.
that helps. If not, I can do NATO spelling for you.
Thank you. We got it. And I did put it in the chat, so we will also make sure it gets onto the page that Heather's going to put together for us. Thank you. Okay, how about questions for Lizzie? And I did put the website for just as transunity.net as well, in case someone wanted to just visit the website.
Is this for mixed race people too?
Yep.
As far as I know, the group is open to anyone who is interested, but you could email the group.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Lizzie? Or any that you forgot and meant to ask while one of the other speakers was presenting? If not, I think, Heather, I don't see any raised hands unless you do. Your side.
This is Heather. I don't see any. Oh, Audrey's got one.
Hi, this is Audrey from Accessible Resources for Independence. This is not a question for a speaker, but if there's a moment, I wanted to share a peer leadership development group that we're hoping to get started. ARI is the Center for Independent Living, assisting individuals with disabilities in Anne Arundel and Howard County with becoming more independent. And we are hoping to start off a leadership development group specifically for Black, Indigenous, people of color who are young adults with disabilities in these areas. So this would be a virtual program, and it would be led by our staff, a couple of our staff who are people of color with disabilities. So I'm going to drop the link to express interest in that and just share a little bit about yourself if it seems like something you'd be interested in, or you can send the link to somebody you think who would be interested to fill out, please, so we can try to get this going. Check the chat if you're interested in that. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. Any other community announcements? I know that Katie dropped many. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
Hi, Katie. I dropped a bunch of events in the chat while people were talking, so please make sure to check those out. If you're connected to Facebook, we also should have our events on Facebook. I got to check into that. And we have a newsletter we put out monthly that if you'd like to sign up for, you can contact me. I'll put my email in the chat box.
Thursday. Katie.
Yes.
40 on Thursday.
You're what?
Almost 40.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other community announcements? Abiola or Rochelle, would you want to announce about our women's tea on Wednesday?
Sure. So on the 17th next week, in honor of Women's History Month, we will be doing our annual Women's Tea. This month's theme is Women of Courage and Determination. And we always have a main speaker and 2 consumers speak to share their stories. So I'm proud to announce that 2 of our consumers who have been very successful in accomplishing their goals, even during the pandemic, will be speaking, Tyree Brown and Miss Kelly Campbell. And our main speaker will be Dr. Donna Walton from the Divas with Disabilities Project. And if you're interested, it's March the 17th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I hope you're able to join us. Bring your lunch, your favorite teacup, and your favorite tea.
So since this is St. Patrick's Day,
Bring
Would
your
they just
tea.
put a shot of Jameson's in there too?
Bring your favorite.
Only when you're not on work time, but trust me, Mike, I'm tempted to because this is my birthday month. So I'll
Uh-huh.
be waiting till the weekend.
It's
So,
mine
real
too.
quick, there is such a thing as Irish tea, and it's tea with milk and sugar. My grandma used to
There
make
you
it for
go.
me.
Oh.
So you could do
sounds
that.
doable, that you'll still be able to present and participate in the women's tea.
Rochelle, I'm
Go
excited
to sleep.
because she'll be Ween's guest speaker at our monthly meeting this month as well for Women's Month. So
I'm
she's an
also
amazing woman. She's an amazing
Yes.
woman.
I'm also excited you're Aries. Yeah,
Well, Janice, let me just say to you, if we have some time on the schedule, we can squeeze you in too. You're more than welcome to come on.
Oh no, I'll let her shine. She's amazing, but I can do it another time.
wake up.
Invite me any other time to come and I'll be there
Lots of
to speak.
That's clear.
events.
I'm actually going to be at the tea, but I'll let her be the speaker. I'll come at another invitation.
Well, like I said, if we have time to squeeze you in, because we have a whole 2 hours, and
Oh, okay.
filling in space on Zoom is different than filling in space on.
That's
We
true.
don't have the lunch this time, so if we have space and we got an extra 20 minutes, I can squeeze you in on the agenda, Matt.
It's
It
not
would
a
be my
problem.
pleasure.
It'd be my honor. Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to close things out here. If there aren't any other community events, I appreciate all of our speakers. Thank you to all of you for sharing about the support groups that you work with. And hopefully it gave some good ideas to people on the call, to the other SIL staff around the state. It's certainly the pandemic. One silver lining, I guess we try to point out, is that it has allowed us to connect with people further away that we might not have done otherwise. So that is certainly appreciated. And
I recommend you try to get with community support of the deaf. Rochelle, I put
Okay.
that in your chat.
I got it. Thank you. So
All right, next week it's COVID.
There you
We'll
go.
talk about access to vaccinations. We'd like to hear from people about circumstances where you've been successful and how you did that, and also situations where you're running up against problems, et cetera. We'll sort of plan this out, but if you want to get a hold of, here, let's make it easy. Why don't you just get a hold of Cheryl Grossman at our office and she can help sort of pull this together. Does that make sense to everybody?
This is Cheryl. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
And are we bringing our own shot of
That's
Jameson
not the
and
17th.
Bailey's?
That's not the 17th.
that's the
That's
17th.
sorry,
and
Bong. You're getting
We're
ahead
going
of
to be
yourself.
talking about vaccine shots.
I'm sorry, I got the shots mixed up. My
I didn't realize I had to do this sort of management.
S. Grossman, SGROSSMAN @imagemd.org. So get a hold of Cheryl, and if you've got
Go to sleep.
if you've got good speakers that you know of we might want to bring in, talk to Cheryl as well about that.
Thank you
Next
so
week
much.
it's everything you ever wanted to know about vaccines, but we're afraid to ask. You know?
Part 2, because we had part 1 of
Part
that.
2.
So this
We
is
have,
about
yes.
locally access. So
Yeah.
all right, thank you so much to everyone for coming today, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, take care, everybody.
All right. Good night. Good day.